Tell me when you're ready.
Just want to make sure we really got it. Yep. Okay, we're recording. Hi, Peter.
Turning off my phone. Sorry. Turning off my phone.
Okay, I'm going to start again. I'm going to start it over again, okay?
Okay, sure.
Hi, Peter. I'm here today with Peter Van Stolk, who is the CEO of Spud, which is a food delivery service in Vancouver that has been delivering food for what, 20 years now?
Something like that, yeah. Since 20 years.
And I'm Linda Solomon Wood, and I am the CEO of Observer Media Group and the editor-in-chief of National Observer. It's really great to have you, to talk with you today, Peter. I've been thinking a lot about food, and I have a feeling you have been too.
Yes, I have. Thank you for having me. Yeah, no, Linda, it's been a lot going on in the last 2 weeks.
So tell me about it. Like, full disclosure, I'm a customer of Spud, and that's why I thought to reach out to you, because I noticed that after years of just ordering and receiving whatever I ordered, last week, the food just didn't come.
Yeah, no. So just full transparency, we're having, like any retailer, if you've been into a grocery store, you've seen blown shelves. And so we've had three sort of unique issues, and I think this is not exclusive to Spud, it's exclusive to the market. So the first thing is you had a sort of a buying power that came in like we've never seen before. And it was sort of this hoarding mentality. People were, our normal average order was like, say, $100. It was now $300. So what happens is it just fills everything up and just sucks the inventory. Then you had a massive amount of inventory come back to fulfill those orders. At the same time, you had staff who are practicing social distancing, and more importantly, staff members who may not feel well. They're just calling off. And so you have to understand that it's a cycle going on with this pandemic, is that it's not just to say, hey, how come I don't have my food? You have to look at the factors that are impacting that, and it starts within people. So you have scared employees who are saying, hey, I'm not showing up. So you think about it. We had 11 drivers in one day not show up.
Wow.
So, and that's okay. You have to deal with it, right? And so then our food supply, they're having the same thing. So first of all, you have social distancing. So there's no one in the office except me today. I'm the only one in the office. So
right.
The challenge of working remotely is one challenge, and that you probably can feel the same with your team. You're just not there for collaboration and dealing with things.
Yeah.
You then have people just saying, hey, I don't feel safe, or I don't feel well. And that's okay. But so that's rippling effect is going throughout the system. So, if you know a distribution company like Horizon, they're seeing the same things happening.
Horizon Food.
Yeah, Horizon
Distributor,
Food.
yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's having the same impact. So it's a rippling effect going down the chain. And you as a consumer are saying, okay, wait a minute, what's going on? Now, when you go to a grocery store, you can see it. You can see it with your own eyes. You walk in there and there's nothing on the shelves, and you can't find toilet paper or anything like that. When you're shopping online, it's a different experience. So we're getting through that, and it's working well.
Well, Peter, I see some grocery stores seem to be stocked, and other grocery stores seem to be struggling with stock. Can you just explain that a little bit to me? Like, how is that playing out? I think Spud works with a lot of local.
Right.
So what's going on here? Is it better to be at scale and buying from people across North America, or is it better to be local right now?
Too early to tell. I can't honestly say that. I'd be not being truthful by answering that one way or the other. Obviously, some of the larger grocery stores have their own distribution centers, so they can distribute, and if you go into sort of some of the larger retailers in Vancouver, you'll find some stores that are blown out and some stores that are stocked. What they're doing is they're pushing products to their stores that they think will have more traffic, and they're leaving stores that are not sort of as popular locations without inventory. So there's no one retailer who's got it nailed. They're all just moving stuff around so that where there's more people buying it, they'll have more inventory. But if you live in the burbs, versus living in town, you're going to see a different experience everywhere you go.
Where is it worse right now? Who's having the most struggle with food?
I don't think anyone's truly having a real struggle with food. I think what's happening is the supply chains are now coming back in. I think what we're seeing is that we're getting our footing back. So this week, we're going to be back to, our goal is to have 80%. Normally, our goal is 97% of your order is filled. Now we're lowering the bar and saying, okay, we're going to shoot for 80%. And that's where the team's focused on. And I think
let me ask you this, Peter, sorry to interrupt, but you, like, when I look at Spud, I just look at it quite often because it's a great site, and
you're a good Spud customer. Thank you.
I'm a good eater.
Yeah, good.
And I like your local organic food. But chicken, it's just like all the chicken, it's blacked out. Like you can't order it right now. And it says send me an email when it's available again. And today I was looking like banana bread. You can't get it. Like, what's going on with all those blacked out things?
Yeah, so that could be a local vendor on the banana bread. On the chickens, there are certain items that are, like eggs are molting right now. So normally you would not have an issue with eggs because there hasn't been a run on eggs, but there is a time in the year that there's molting if you're looking for organic eggs. So we've added 2 new egg suppliers. So from what we're doing is that we've usually had a very sort of curated list of suppliers. We're expanding that list to include more vendors so that we are not. And I think that's sort of the conversation here. With the chickens, I would be disingenuous if I said I knew what's going on with chickens right now, but I could get back to you in an email and find out. I think the whole thing that we're trying to do is that people have standing orders, Linda.
Yeah.
And if you put chicken on your standing order, you will get it.
Oh.
So the standing order. So what we've sent out to our customers is that standing orders, we're trying to address this and saying, so then we can see the supply and make sure that that is to our best of our ability. And I want to caveat
so
this.
Are you saying if you can plan for it, you can deliver it?
Better than if it's like next day. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So Peter, I just want to kind of wrap up what you've told me so far. You've told me that you're there in the office by yourself. And how big is your office? How big is your workplace?
We have 15,000 square feet of office space.
Where are you located?
In Burnaby.
Oh, so you have a place in Burnaby. Do you not have a place in the Vancouver proper at all anymore?
We do have we have 2 facilities now. They're both running at max right now. So the Hastings location you're familiar with on Commercial and Hastings.
Right.
That is a fulfillment center. And then we have our new fulfillment center here out in Burnaby, which is a bigger one.
Okay. And so you're there alone, and you've been struggling a lot with staff being sick and being afraid, not wanting to come in.
No, I think I think Canada is struggling with staff.
Sure.
I think this is, again, I think we have to look at this up a notch, and we're talking about food right now, but we're also talking about Canadians who are concerned.
Yes.
I have friends in lots of businesses, and they're seeing the same thing everywhere. And I also have children, and my daughter's telling me that her friends are doing, like, they're just not there. So I think there's, there's information and there's concern that we need to be isolated. So think about that from a fear factor, is that there are lots of people who want to stay isolated, and then there's some people who need to work. And we're very fortunate. We have over 5,000, close to 10,000 job applicants right now. So we've hired, so we've also hired a lot of people from the food service industry.
You
So
mean people who were just laid off?
correct.
Well,
So
when have those like, did you have 5,000 a month ago, or, I
no,
mean, how?
are you kidding me? No, like
So you've,
we would have like 50 applicants a month ago, and now it went from like just as soon as you have to, like I as an industry in the grocery industry leader, and I'm joining on another panel discussion on a global conversation. Um, I've never experienced business where it's shifting under your feet on a daily basis. So what we've done to address that and provide food to our consumers is we've opened up 2 new facilities that will be launching tomorrow. What we're offering our customers is not through the Spud site. We're saying, okay, we have to look at this differently. We have to get food to people who need it. We have to get food to our healthcare workers. We have to get food to our frontline people, and we get food to some of our shut-ins and elderly. And how can we do it systematically? How can we do it without complication? And how can we do it without sort of our facility? And our facility allows you to select what you want. And you have that luxury of saying, I want this, or I want this, or I can change this, and you move this. But in a time of crisis, how do you move past that? So we're launching stay home boxes. The site will be open to the public tonight. They tell me at 5 o'clock. In that operation
so
is a
that's like different than Spud proper.
correct. It's attached to Spud. It's Spud, but what we're saying to people, if you want a box of food and you're okay with what's in the box, organic produce, this, and we're not going to change it, we're going to deliver it to you within 2 days or a day because we have a different system.
Mm-hmm.
And we've hired more people to do that. We're doing that. And so that it's not the tote that you would normally know, return it. It is one-way box. You get your food when you want it, and it's in the box. And we can't change it. We work with our suppliers to do this. And we think we can service, our goal is to service 14,000 Vancouverites in the next 2 weeks. So this is a
How
completely
many do you service normally?
about 14,000. We're doubling our business.
So you're gonna service 14,000 in 2 weeks, but normally you service over 2 weeks, how many?
Oh no, in 2 weeks we'll be able to get to 14,000. We're
Right.
wrapping up the process. We currently service 14, so we'll be able to double the number of people we touch.
Got ya. Wow, 28,000.
People combined, yes. But it's working with, so first of all, there's a program we're working with all the hospitals right now. So portion of that box will go to the hospital. The hospital is actually buying those boxes for the frontline worker. We're providing it at complete cost. There's nothing.
Like every hospital in Vancouver, or like how many
hopefully.
hospitals?
Right now we're in 4 different regions, and the announcement will come out. I'm not going to precede their press release because they have it.
Yeah.
And I can't, and I'm not going to share which one. But we've worked really hard within 10 days to open a brand new facility, 2 facilities, one in Calgary, one in Edmonton, or 2 facilities, one in Calgary, one in Vancouver. We have 2 backup facilities that we're going through. We've launched a complete website, different, and it's a different experience. And we're telling people this is a different shopping experience. It's just getting you food what you need now. That's it.
So it's kind of like, the whole experience I'm finding of the pandemic is, and isolation, is kind of things becoming pared down, more simplicity,
Completely.
less complexity.
Completely. You have to. We've gone out to our vendors and said, can you commit to supply? And they say, yeah, we can. So we're making, there's going to be 4 or 5 different boxes. Vision is that this is just going to get you food fast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's not sexy. We're pulling out some of the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
It's great organic local food where we can, and it's giving it to you as quickly as possible. And then proceeds of those, portions of those, are going to the frontline healthcare to support their food. So our thought was, how do we not allow our frontline healthcareers to go to a grocery store? Like, let's
I
do.
just read that a friend was posting on Facebook that his friend, who's an ER doctor, told him that he was like, "Do we really need to stay in? Like, what do you really think about all this?" And he said, um, "My biggest risk is going to the grocery store, not being on ER."
That's what we're doing. We know that, and that's what we've changed. So this is full on. When you see the site, it's all about working with our frontline workers. We're, you know, it's kind of cool. Our team has rallied behind it.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. They worked really hard. Like, we were working till 10 o'clock last night, and we had, today we're up at 6 and their calls. And so to think what, I'm really proud of the team. We've taken from an idea to full on website, which has lots of complexities, to sourcing. Now, this is an outside production facility. It's not Spud.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
have to understand, so that we're not even using Spud trucks on this.
So yeah,
Completely.
I get it. I get it. And so it sounds like this moment, because you're in the food business, it's both a really challenging moment operationally to just keep everything going, but on the other hand, it's an enormous opportunity to grow.
Well, I think, I've always believed that online grocery is something that's going to come, right? So, in its sort of, this is online grocery, and I think that the challenge that we're having with under this pandemic is that what online grocery is doing is it's going to where we thought it would be in 2025 or 2027. It's growth that you're seeing is impacted by the pandemic, but it doesn't change the fact that that's where people want to shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Who
So,
wants to go out
yeah,
when
so
you can stay at home?
yeah.
Well, Peter, it's really great to hear all this. Are there any things that you would just, tell people, like, our readers are all over Canada, not just in Vancouver. And what would you just tell people about food right now? Like what their expectations should be? And
We should lower our expectations. The first thing is that it's not the same. No one's ever worked in a pandemic. We're all dealing with things every day that I'd have no idea that I thought I'd wake up and deal with. And it's not, one should be, and that's not just food, it's everyone. This crisis touches everyone, and it doesn't matter what your political stripes is or your financial stripes are, it touches everyone, and it's challenging. And the people who are working in those grocery stores, the people who are driving the buses, the people who are working at Spud are truly frontline workers. They're working, their labor costs, we've just increased all our pay and throughout the organization to support these people. People took going to the grocery store for granted. And that's going to change. And especially healthy food, because it's cheap to make processed food. And everybody has to understand that when you walk through the grocery store, you can see what's on the shelf. It's usually the crap, and that's what's available because it's cheap and it can be. But as this pandemic travels to different countries, and you're going to see a supply chain, so it's not going to be easy to get produce from countries that are about to go through what we're going through. So you can start just looking at the channel that's going on. So it's really important to support local. It's really important to support your own food transparency. It's really important to know where the food is coming from. But I would just say to your readers and everyone is that I believe there's enough food to supply us, so that the system is enough food. You may not have the ripest strawberries that you want to make your strawberry parfait. That may not be the case, but you're not going to go it may be time to look at different foods and different things. But I would say that the most important thing is this time is that we all understand what's truly valuable, and that's our inner strength. And I've said this, and I'm going to say this: the inner strength to have compassion for others, the inner strength to understand that it's challenging, and the inner strength to have patience. And those are the real things that we're seeing communities build upon. And the compassion's for others, because no matter how challenging it is for myself, I share with everybody in our company that there are people who have a much greater challenge than we do. They're dealing with much greater issues. And I just look at my friends who are in the OR room, as you mentioned. I look at my friends who are dealing with that, really scared. And, if we're scared dealing with people, we own grocery stores, and our staff is saying, hey, I'm scared going to work because I don't know who I'm dealing with. We've said, hey, that we appreciate that and we understand that. But internally, I know that there are people who are going to work in OR rooms, in COVID-19 rooms, and we're seeing it, that they're really scared. And yet they're going there every day to do their job. And so if someone doesn't get their, big beef.
Chocolate banana bread.
Yeah. It's you'll get it. You'll get the chocolate banana bread, but
I could live without it.
You could live without it and it's knowing that we don't want you not to have it. No one's sitting here, oh, Linda doesn't get her chocolate banana bread. We're making, no one's doing that. So I think that's what everyone is. And so we have a thoughtful Thursday, and the final thing.
We've really gotten spoiled in our culture, like unbelievably spoiled.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'll say is that we have a thoughtful Thursday where people send us all the notes in the bins, the handwritten notes.
Nice.
And so we post that everywhere. And that's it. So
what were some of the things? Can you remember any of the comments?
Yeah, sure. I can pull it up. It's the nicest one is, we know how hard you're trying in this difficult time, and we know it's not perfect, but your drivers are super nice and they're working late at night, and we're all trying. And if I walked you through a virtual tour, you'd see probably 150 people behind me right now, below in the warehouse, packing people's groceries, and they care.
Yeah.
And so, and we're getting better. So we're every day.
Peter, I thank you so much for what you do and for all the great food that you've delivered to people all over the region for all these years.
Thank you.
And it's really great talking to you.
Yeah.
And
we'll make it work. We'll get through this. We'll get through there, and it will get better.
We're going to get through it.
Yeah. So that's a message that everybody has to know. This isn't going to last forever.
No.
And it's going to get through.
Yeah. But maybe we'll be a little different though at the end.
Hopefully, Mother Earth would like us to. So that's maybe we should be.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.